Well, hello everybody, and thanks for watching the video and thanks for supporting the channel. So today I thought I'd do an origins video for you guys, one of the first ones in a series. And this is going to be on the stinger jig. So right now I've got the lead back over behind me here inside of the bait lab. It's heating up and it's just right back over there. And then we're going to bring it over here to the powder coating after we get the jigs poured. We're going to get it over here to the powder coating. We're going to powder coat them, and then I'll bring them back and show you the UV color that I created, which is the color shift, which will be the final coat. But we can start with the lead first. And let me turn you around here. I just do a real simple lead on this one because it's just jig heads. So I actually take my mold and heat it up on top of my lead, right? Which now my lead, of course, we'll clean that up. I'm waiting for it to come up to temperature. We'll heat the mold up and then we'll get the lead heated up to the right temperature. And I'll show you guys how we work with that. I want to make sure it's a certain consistency so it not only runs the right weight, but also that it has a little bit of a ting built into it. All right, so I wanted to get you back on my chest here. And so the lead is now to the color that I want it to be. And I'm going to take all of this slag off of the top of this, right? Because I want it to be clean. And I can see that the color is still not the color that I want. So I'm going to add some other metals to it just to make sure that it's got the right ting in it. And I owe that to Curtis Schultz. That man taught me a lot about this, you guys. And I'm just real thankful for him. He makes the killer queen and I'm gonna make the stinger bead. So and that's what we're gonna do today. That's pretty much exclusive just to Godsent, you guys. We're the ones that designed and built the bead, so you'll get to see that as we leave the studio here. I'll get the jig heads poured, and then I'll leave from the bait lab and go to the studio. So I'm going to get this added into here. Get that melted down. See if I got the color. Yeah, see, that brought it right to color. So the color did change a little bit. You know how I got a little bit, noticed how it got a little bit more silvery? Well, what happens with that is it helps carry my weight, right? Okay, so that's about ready. Let's tap that off. Get that other slag off of there. All right, we'll get that in there. Of course, when you're using lead, you want to make sure that you're in a well-ventilated area because you'll get a headache from it. Trust me, you will. So make sure you're in a well-ventilated area and you got your safety protection on. I usually keep my gloves on. I just don't have them on today. So I'm going to do a 1/4 and an 1/8 ounce jig head, and we're going to pour them right now. Okay. So see, it's got that good color to it, and I know that it's ready to pour. I still push the slag back, get some fresh in here, and they probably won't pour right because it's got all that stuff on there. Let me get it knocked off here. Okay, there we go. All right. We're going to pour. Pour. Get that back in there, pull that slag back. All right, and we've got 2 perfect jig heads. So, and I got my pliers here because these are very, very hot, right? But see how good and silvery they are? And that's what I'm looking for when I powder coat, right? So that's the 1/4 ounce, and then this is the 1/8 ounce. And I'm trying not to touch it on purpose because I'm about to powder coat it and I don't want any oils on it because I want that powder coat to stick for the method that I use. All right, so that's how you get these guys. You just load your hooks up. I'll do it one more time for you. You load your hooks up. And you got to remember that mold's hot, but my fingers are sort of used to it. So, you know, if you start doing this, you'll get used to it too. All right, so I close it down. I pull my slag back. I want good shiny silvery stuff, and then I'm gonna pour. Okay, and of course that pour, once it gets stuff on it like that, stuff that you see on the outside. It doesn't want to pour evenly, but it's no big deal. I'm just going to cut it off and put it back in there anyway. All right, 2 more jigs. So this is sort of like watching paint dry, guys. So we'll get back to you when we start the powder coating. All right, so now it's time for our base coat. I've got some in the back. I do them in sections so that we make sure that we get a good base coat on them. But here we go. Let's get these guys base coated. I like coating the hooks too. It seems to make everything stick a little bit better. All right, we'll then take them off of this rack and put them into the oven to bake, and then we'll do the next step. Okay, so they've gone through their baking time, and now I'm going to go ahead and pull the first one out. And I like this flat black, and we'll get a better look at them once we're in the studio, you guys. But I like that flat black because on these holders, they actually hold the baits better. And that'll be apparent when we go in to go do the bait making. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a hold of it with my pair of pliers. I'm going to come over here, and I've got my torch going, and I'm going to heat these up, just the heads. I'm just going to heat these heads up, right? Just a little. You don't have to do a lot. And then I'm going to simply take, this is a UV powder coat. So let me make sure I got that showing right. There we go. So this is a UV powder coat with a color change in it, which is something that we make here at GodsentFishing.net. And I'm just going to sprinkle it. See how it picks the color up? Because I don't want it, if I dip it, it gets too heavy and it just doesn't look right. Heat her up a little bit again, because I'm just showing, I'm teaching, right? So get this about the right way here, and then we're going to sprinkle this stuff on here. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, so then heat it up again, because this stuff is very temperamental, by the way, and because it's such a fine coating. But when we're in the studio, you'll get to see a lot more of that. So then I hold on to it for a few seconds, right? And let it sit. Or I'll just hang it back inside here. And we'll do one more for you. Okay, so I grab it out. And the oven's still warm too, which helps, right? And then we'll take it by the torch. We'll take it and heat up this head. So I can get all the way around to it, right? And it doesn't need to be that hot because we'll heat it up for one more second. Then I'm going to take and sprinkle on this UV coat. I can see it going on. You guys might not be able to, but I can see it going on because I want a particular finish, right? And I'm real picky about the way that these turn out. But you can, when you're doing these at home, you'll figure all this stuff out, you guys. It's just trial and error. Okay. Yep, that's got that one baked on good. Okay. So because that this stuff is so, to this particular finish is so particular, right? All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll the shop up from the bait lab here. We're gonna go head into the Godsent studio, and we're gonna actually put the stinger jig together for you guys, and I think that you're gonna be pretty impressed. So stick with me and you'll like what's happening. So welcome everybody to Godsent Studio, Godsent Adventures, and GodsentFishing.net. This is the next part of the video where we're going to actually sit down and get some bench time. I thought I would share the studio with you. This is where a lot of editing gets done, a lot of bench time for tying up jigs, making different things that I can make that are, it's a lot warmer in here than it is at the shop. So, but this is the studio where we do our lives from. And occasionally we will have guests that come and stay, and it has a loft in it. And this is called a bunkie house. And it's made out of Canada, and it comes in a kit. And we literally built this place in 2 days, you guys. So, but next, I wanted to sit down and be at the bench with you guys, and we're gonna work that jig head that we did inside of the bait lab. And then now we're gonna be in here, and I think that if you guys stuck around long enough for this, you'll be rewarded because this is an interchangeable jig. So I'm glad to teach it to you all. You're pretty much just going to see my chest in this next segment. All right, everybody, let's do it. All right, so now it's bench time, you guys. So I've went ahead and stuck the eyes onto the to the jig head, okay? But I wanted to show this next really important step, okay? The eyes will wiggle a little bit too, so you want to sort of adjust them. But this next part is, remember I told you guys that flat black, when we were inside of the bait lab, is really important because this glitters and this color shift is about to go off. You guys are probably seeing black and a little bit of purple, right? Well, let's go ahead and take the hard as nails now. And this is a step that is done in jig tying all over the place. So, and it's a real easy step. We're just gonna take and we're gonna coat this head here, which then, you know, gives us another protection layer from banging against rocks and all the rest of that. So then I usually rotate mine just to make sure that I get it all the way. And this is something that you can do by hand too. You don't have to have a vise to do this. But see, now you're seeing the blues, the purples, and hopefully the camera's doing it justice. You guys are gonna get to see the blues and the purples and the greens and all the rest of that come out inside of this jig head. And when I had it out the other day, the fish just loved it. All right, so that's enough for the jig head. That's how simple that was. So we made the jig head. We've got a bait holder here and we've got a bait holder here. And that's why I like this jig, because that if we want to stick a worm on or something like that, it's still going to hold even though we're going to put the stinger on it. All right, so let me slide this out of the way. And then this is our 20 millimeter. This is our 20 millimeter stinger bead. And what it is, it looks like a piece of roe that goes down the river. And this bead has been very successful for us for a very long time. We've been fishing it 3 to 4, this is I think our 4th year with it. And just by itself, it's caught salmon, steelhead, trout, it's caught them all. But then I was like, you know, I want an interchangeable jig, right? When you buy a jig, that's what you get. If the jig falls apart, the fish tears it apart, then you're just done. You know, that jig's no good anymore, not unless you want to retie it. So I sat out here one day and I said, okay, let's do everything wrong possibly that I could. And guess what? This is where this came from, right? Okay, so I'm going to use the 16 millimeter. We have the 20 that I showed you. And then for this 3/4 ounce jig head, and then I'm going to use the 16th on the 8th, right? So right now what I want to do is I want to get this jig head, or this jig head with this on here, but I want yarns on it, right? That are going to lay down the side of this, the side of these channels, and then go up onto my jig. So what I did was, I just went out and tinkered around. These are the yarns that I found. You know, they're UV. They're made by the bug yarn. And, you know, I've got all types of bug yarn. But anyway, for expediency, you know, you can find all different kinds of material. There's Chanel, there's feathers, there's whatever you guys want to use. So, and this is something that you can build for yourself. So what I did was I took the two materials and I split them apart, right? Okay. And I put it so that the red is on the top and the white is on the bottom. But I thinned it out like this. I thinned it out and made it to go through the whole material. So, and it's sort of straight at the end, and I cut about a 3-inch piece. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna wind this up, and then I made myself a little tool. You can find needles to run these through, but I just made myself a little tool, and I'm just gonna use this and run this right through the yarn, right through this. I wet the end of it, okay? Then I'm going to run this through, and you don't have to go all the way through. You can go about halfway through, or 1/4 of the way through. I'll show you. Okay, just so you got a hook on it. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take this, fold this back, and I'm going to run that through the stinger. And the stinger, if you look at it, it's got a spot for it. It actually has an indentation right here at the end of the knob. And then I'm just going to take and run this right through straight. Then I'm going to take this yarn and pull this yarn through. Sometimes it's a little bit stubborn, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just going to pull that yarn through, okay? And that's usually about where it lets go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, first off, I want to make sure that my red is on the outside, right? So I'm going to twist it and get it the way that I want it. And then I'm going to pull the rest of it through and even it out. So that I'm seeing nothing but white on the top and the red on the bottom. Okay, let's get her even. That looks pretty even to me. Okay. So now I've got them evened out. I got them the way that I want them. Now, this is where this becomes very interchangeable, you guys. This is so cool. So watch this. I'm going to take this off the jig head. I'm going to put right here at the flat top of the stinger. And I'm simply going to run this stinger right up the hook. And I like to put my finger at the end of it so I can feel the hook come out the center. Felt it? Now, because that we have these holders on here, this is not going to be slipping all around. So see, that's why it's interchangeable. Now, I will say this, when you get up to here, you're going to want to sort of work this stinger bead up over that first hook, right? And then what I do is I'll slide it up, I'll bring it back because that hook will pull itself back up. And then I'll slide it back up on there again to the second ring, right? And then pull it back. Then I'm going to bring it all the way up. Okay? And then that's what the stinger jig looks like. Now, guys, this is interchangeable, right? This is what's so cool. You could be out on the river and they're not hitting this color, right? So you can literally take a stinger out, let's say in the magma, you know, in the magma, in a pink, that you've already set up at home and done your yarns on, right? And then just slide this off and you're ready to go. So that's what I liked about this. Instead of having a fixed jig, now we're gonna have an interchangeable jig. And a godsend, that's really, you know, all my goal was when I was out on the river, instead of having to retie everything, I wanna just do a quick change and make everything interchangeable, right? Just so that it's more friendlier for us and that gives us a better chance to catch fish. All right, so what I do at the end of this is I get my toothbrush out and I brush out the material. Okay, get this like this. Okay, give it a brush out, fold it back, give it another brush out. Okay, guys, there you go. Now you have yourself a stinger bead. Now, if you want to be exact, you can do some cutting on it. Okay, you can do some cutting on it, but remember, this is now interchangeable, you guys. So, and when this, I'll actually do the video at the end of what it looks like after it got wet too, and it looks really, really good. Okay, so let's say we're running this, and you know, we're just still not getting that many bites, right? Or they're short tapping it. I had that happen to me the other day. They were short tapping this because the water was so fast. So I said to myself, okay, well, let's see what else we can do to this jig, right? So here's what I came up with. So of course we make worms at Godsend Fishing. So what I did was I took one of my worms. And I measured where I was going to be at on that hook, right? So, and I still wanted it to show orange and I still wanted it to show pink, right? So I just gave it a nip. And then I just simply took my worm and threaded it up. There we go. And let me tell you something, this thing in the water, you guys, just looks super awesome. The fish liked it, I liked it. It was interchangeable. I can start doing a lot of different things with this worm. Plus, it slowed it down a little bit too, you guys, because that water was moving really fast, as you'll see. We did get into an eddy, but that water was moving pretty quick. So, guys, you know what and gals, what I guess I'm trying to say here is that you can buy the stingers. We sell them in many different colors. They're up on the godsendfishing.net. I'll post that up on the thing so you guys can see what it looks like. But now you can interchange your jigs while you're out on the water. You can change from red to pink to white to yellow, chartreuse, clear with a glitter. I mean, this one right here, it needed a little bit more glitter, but we have a clear that has a glow in it, right? So that you can run the glow in the mornings as well. So this is just, you know, me messing around and finding stuff that we as fishermen can now interchange as we go. But welcome everybody to the Stinger jig. And now you guys have interchangeable parts on your jigs from here on out, you guys. All right, so I'm going to show that video. I hope that everybody likes and subscribes to the channel because we are trying to build the channel. And I do have an announcement for next Monday night. We are going on a 2-week adventure before Hawaii. And I will announce that on our Monday night fishing report at 6 o'clock on the YouTube channel here. So I hope everybody enjoyed my life as a bait maker in my day. I was really happy to share it with you. And here comes that video of this jig wet, everybody. No, it was a leaf. It was a leaf fish. So I like the way that yarn lays on the worm. I'm just real impressed with this jig. So we'll start kicking them out and you guys will be able to buy them here shortly.